Beatrice, yesterday you were watching Kay's first episode. What are some of your thoughts when you first heard about this particular business, right? That actually connects expatriates to Singapore, helping expatriates to get their passes. What are the thought process about this business?
No, I think one thing that struck me when I was watching Kay yesterday, I think one very interesting point where she pointed out was that they don't just help clients to, in terms of, yes, everything that you mentioned just now, EP pass, conversion from PR to citizen, but it's more of like helping them to assimilate to Singapore society, like through other things as well, like through volunteering. It's not just like the monetary like contributions that Singapore is looking at, but also they're looking for people who, candidates who really want to, who see a future in Singapore and really want to call Singapore their home. That was, I think, something that like struck out to me when I was watching yesterday.
Right. What was your inspiration? I mean, like to set up this business, because I understand from your history, right? I mean, you were flying 5 years with SQ.
Yes.
You were born in Malaysia, and then after you worked for 2 years at the immigration company, and you decided to start on your own for the last 3.5 years. What was your inspiration?
I felt like I want to help expat to really, come to Singapore and ease their stay here, because as a foreigner myself, used to be a foreigner, so I've gone through the whole process of, firstly, 12 years ago, I get an EP, and afterwards, I applied for my PR, and I just got my citizenship approved.
Congrats.
2 months ago. 2 months ago.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why, I felt like I was once in their shoe. And I know how important it is having a residency status here.
Right.
And I genuinely want to help them to make Singapore their permanent home. So that's why we guide them through the whole process. We guide them how they can, do some volunteering works to integrate to Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interestingly, just now you mentioned like you want to share with your audience and your clients about the importance of having that residency in Singapore, right? So from your perspective, what made you decide to give up your citizenship in your homeland? I mean, like, what attracted you to Singapore? Maybe you can share with our audience.
I guess I'm very blessed to be here. I would say I'm very blessed to be here. And I really admire how Singapore government manage Singapore so well. Everything is good, stable, politically stable, facilities as well, infrastructure. So I felt like this is where I belong. And of course, the fact that I have a Singaporean son, right? So it gives me a lot more sense of belonging to continuously, being here. And I don't see myself really going back. So that's why, I decided to apply for Singapore citizenship.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So has like your clients ever asked you like, hey Kay, I'm thinking about applying citizenship in Singapore. Do you think I should take this step? Should I give up my citizenship in my homeland? Like, what are the pros and cons? Like, how do you usually advise? Like, what is the thought process like? And how do one person make this important decision? Because once you do that, there's no going back, right?
Yes, there's no going back.
Yeah. So how does one family make this decision usually?
I think they really have to think through, because if you were to give up your passport, right, correct, the moment, if you still have family members in your home country, right, where you came from, it might be a bit more difficult for you to go back, right, if let's say your family member fell sick, right, or if you have overseas property, then you have to give it up as well, because some country does not allow a non-citizen to holding onto certain type of property. Yeah, just like how Singapore is, right? Yeah, correct. So I think they have to really think through. There's no turning back, like you say. You can't just say like, oh, can I reverse, the process? Yeah.
Right.
So they really need to see where they want to be in the next, I don't know, 20, 30 years. Yeah, 20, 30 years of their life.